Hello everyone, and today we're going to be talking about plum blossoms. Plum blossoms are technically not flowers, they're a tree. However, we're going to be focusing on the flower that comes from the tree and the fruit that comes from the flower. Now, we're going to be talking about plum blossoms with the following chart that has 3 categories: facts, deeper meaning, and when. By facts, I mean historical facts. By deeper meaning, I mean what the flower might symbolize depending on the culture, religion, or even the country that we might be talking about. By when, I mean what specific holiday or date you might give this flower to someone else or even to yourself. Now, plum blossoms originate from East Asia. Specifically, they originate from China. Around 3,000 years ago, maybe even more, the farmers in China decided to transport the plum blossoms to cooler temperatures, to the point where the plum blossoms were transported all the way to Korea and Japan, and the flowers became very popular all around East Asia. Now, plum blossoms were extremely famous during the Qin dynasty. Sorry, I'm saying that wrong. Now, during the Qin dynasty, it is known as the last imperial dynasty in China, and the plum blossom was seen as a symbol of fighting back and as a symbol of perseverance. Therefore, during the rebellion during the Qin dynasty to overthrow the dynasty and then later become the Republic of China, the plum blossom became a very important flower during this time as it symbolized this rebellion and this perseverance. And it came to the point where around 1964, the plum blossom became the national flower for China. Apart from this symbolism and this representation during the Qin dynasty about the plum blossom became very famous due to its other factors. For example, the plum blossom gave birth to the plum fruit, and the plum fruit was often used for medical purposes, so they could treat people. They were also used in East Asia cuisine, in traditional cuisine, therefore it was seen as a cultural flower for East Asia. And apart from East Asia cuisine, the plum fruit was also used to make plum wine or liquor. Therefore, it was very famous because of that. Another biological factor was the plum blossom tree. Now, the plum blossom tree was an architectural tree that was used by gardeners to make gardens look pretty and to make them look nice. Therefore, a lot of gardeners, when they had to decorate a garden, they often used the plum blossom tree as it was very pretty. Therefore, it became very popular as many gardeners used it to decorate houses and gardens to attract people due to its beauty and the fragrance of the flower. Another factor about plum blossoms was its 5 petals. And in Chinese culture, it was seen that the 5 petals represented the ancient 5 blessings. The first blessing is long life and vitality through old age. The second blessing is wealth and financial security. The third ancient blessing is radiant health. The fourth blessing is appreciation of virtue, and the fifth blessing is peaceful natural death. And all of these were seen as very important factors of life. Therefore, the 5 petals of the plum blossom were very popular and they were seen as very important for people. In Chinese mythology, it is said that the plum blossom originated from the tears of a fairy that was banished to earth. And therefore, these tears that she cried so much gave birth to this plum blossom, and the plum blossom was seen as representing new beginnings as the fairy was developing a new life on earth. And this is further empathized with the Chinese name of the plum blossom, the Mei Hua, which literally translates to winter plum or blossoming plum. Now, in Chinese literature, winter represents death. Therefore, the plum blossom is often used as the flower that represents the life and death cycle, as the plum blossom is one of the first flowers that blossom during winter. Since the plum blossom one of her flowers that blossom during winter, they're seen as a new beginning of life during winter that represents death. Therefore, in Chinese literature, the plum blossoms are used to represent the cycle of life, as once winter is happening, life can also happen. Therefore, the plum blossom represents this life and death. Now, the plum blossom is such a popular flower that even in Japanese culture and in Japanese people, it is celebrated, especially in the Japanese Plum Blossom Festival, which is an annual festival emphasizing how important the plum blossom is to Japanese people. To the point that in Japanese literature, the plum blossom is used to represent the human spirit of people and the perseverance of people. As the plum blossoms, as they blossom during winter, they're seen as very perseverant, as during the harsh condition of winter, they're able to thrive and they're able to blossom and be beautiful. Therefore, in Japanese literature, they represent the human spirit that always fights back and always tries to get what they want and try their best, even with all the obstacles of life. And due to this, oftentimes during when war was happening, the samurai warrior class, they often use plum blossoms in their armor to represent the strength and the perseverance that they needed during war. Due to all of this perseverance and this cycle of life that Japanese and Chinese culture plum blossoms represent, I believe that plum blossoms are best gifted during New Year's. As New Year is the ending of a year, therefore it is representing all of this life and the beginning of new life and the perseverance and strength that you need to just start over a new year again with the best possibility that you can, so you can start again anew. And I feel like Chinese culture representation of plum blossom as this cycle of life and this new beginnings with the fairy and the mythology, I think that this is what New Year's represents, because it's a new beginning of life and a new beginning of a new year. And the Japanese representation of the human spirit, I think, highlights New Year, as it is us keeping persevering for another year and having the strength that we had before to just keep moving on in life. Therefore, I think that the plum blossom is best gifted during New Year's and is best used to decorate to represent these new beginnings and this strength. Therefore, they're best gifted to someone else or even to yourself during New Year's to represent the strength that you need for the next year and that you wish for someone else to have in the next year so they can proceed and have fortune. That's all. Bye.